We live in the 21st century, equipped with technologies and possibilities that were once unavailable even to the most powerful individuals. In winter, we have warmth, in summer, coolness. With a smartphone, we can easily order food delivered to our doorstep within half an hour. Changing our surroundings is just a click away. A train or plane ticket can be purchased instantly. Numerous job opportunities are available online, and if you desire the latest iPhone, Sberbank is more than willing to approve a credit. Yet, despite all these conveniences, we still feel unhappy. The reason for this discontent lies in our confusion between freedom and unchecked indulgence. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the twice-elected president, once said that freedom is the opportunity for self-discipline, and this idea is crucial. Without moderation, all the technologies and successes will only lead us in a directionless and goalless spiral. In other words, without discipline, all the comforts of the modern world can lead to dependencies, imbalances, and dysfunctions. Each of us has inner voices of higher and lower selves that constantly vie for our attention. Moderation is the ability to rein in the lower self and support the higher self. As Epictetus said, we must learn to approve and disapprove. It may sound paradoxical, but to achieve freedom, we must establish boundaries. In this video, I will share 7 Stoic pieces of advice that will help organize our thoughts, discard the unnecessary, and embark on a new life. Enjoy watching. A man who led a university, regularly spoke at meetings, lobbied lawmakers, gave lectures, and wrote a total of 5 books. How did he manage all of this? The secret lay not only in constant work. His ability to utter seemingly scary and dreadful words also played a crucial role. He argued that the number of people willing to consume someone else's time is almost infinite. Some considered him detached, others deemed him selfish, and some constantly talked behind his back. But he was too busy to notice. He understood that the priority in life was to keep the main thing in the foreground, especially when your task is to elevate an entire race of people. But what is considered important for us? If we don't have answers, how can we determine what is worth saying yes to and what to say no to? Why get up early, work if there is no clarity? If we lack answers, we become vulnerable. I'll take just a minute of your time. I know you're busy, but could you advise me? As Michel de Montaigne said, one who has not aimed his life at a specific goal cannot organize his actions correctly. Seneca also wrote about this. If a ship doesn't know which harbor it is heading to, no wind will be favorable. Booker T. Washington had a great goal: to provide education to dark-skinned men and women. He had clarity and persistence to reject everything that was not related to this goal. John Steinbeck, a writer, once pondered in the middle of writing his long novel how people manage to do meaningful work while being interested in politics, economics, and attending social events. But is it possible without self-discipline? Saying no to what doesn't matter, responding to every message, providing free consultations, attending social events, accepting invitations to every podcast or interview. All these things come with alternative costs, taking away resources and energy, which are limited for each of us. The key to success in almost all areas lies in continuously and steadfastly focusing on the same process for a prolonged period. Often, we are unable to properly organize our day, and then we wonder why we feel exhausted, become less productive, or find ourselves consistently lagging behind. Remember the following phrase: when we say yes to something, we automatically say no to something else. As someone once said, he who is everywhere is nowhere. It's impossible to be in 2 different places at the same time. When someone takes just a few minutes of your time, they are not only taking it from you, but also from your family and your future. The same happens when we agree to do unimportant things. This time, we are stealing from ourselves. Although there is no law obliging us to respond to every email, answer every call, or have an opinion on every piece of recent news, We cannot say yes to our goal if we don't say no to what pertains to someone else. We cannot achieve our goal if we don't keep it at the forefront of our management. These principles begin with the words of Epictetus, stating that some things are within our power, while others are not. Opinions, desires, and aversions are beyond our control. However, our reputation, public career, and even our body are subject to the control of others. You may wonder, if the body is not under our control, shouldn't we take care of it? Nevertheless, according to Epictetus, even though our body is mortal, we should care for it wisely, avoiding extremes. Through proper care, we can minimize dependence on medicine, both internal and external. The basketball team of the California University posted some of the league's finest players. The renowned basketball coach, John Wooden, commenced his initial session with the team by demonstrating the correct way to tie shoelaces. This was quite unexpected for the players, who anticipated learning secret strategies or impressive shooting advice. Nevertheless, the coach's initial words proved to be a key to success for many, both in sports and in life. Basketball is a game played on a hard surface, making proper athletic footwear crucial. Incorrect lacing can even lead to ankle injuries, emphasizing the significance of this seemingly simple element. Shoelaces might appear trivial, but they have the potential to impact a player's performance, resulting in extended pauses and exclusion from the main lineup. As for us, we aspire to truly challenge ourselves without wasting time unnecessarily. It is essential to approach details correctly, as ignoring them renders us vulnerable. The great Admiral Hyman's words, "The devil, as well as salvation, is in the details," underscore the importance of paying attention to these small aspects, as Pickett pointed out that from inattention, things only get worse. An age-old saying goes, "For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost," and so forth. Regardless of who you are, an athlete, a carpenter, an investor, or a blogger, if you aim to achieve something significant, paying attention to the details is essential. Once, Klein, the head of a historical school after Zenome, was walking down the street when he encountered a man berating himself for some minor failure. Lyant intervened in his monologue, saying, "The person you were just scolding is not that bad." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of the need to be strict with oneself and tolerant of others, finding the essence of historical self-discipline in this perspective. In our pursuit of improvement and adherence to high standards, we avoid naive excuses. However, does this mean we consider ourselves bad people and hate our true selves? Certainly not. Yet, at times, we unconsciously slip into negative monologues, labeling ourselves as failures, fat, or incompetent. What comes next? Yes, we are Cato the Elder never wore clothes that cost more than a couple of bucks. He drank the same wine as his slaves, with whom he regularly worked in the fields. Food was purchased at ordinary markets, and he completely abstained from any societal extravagances. His brilliant quote, "Nothing is cheap if it's unnecessary," suggests that such frugality is not deprivation, but a manifestation of independence. Cato lived in a very modest house inspired by a politician named Manius Curius. Attempting to bribe this corrupt official, they offered him a gift. However, upon seeing turnips boiling in his kitchen, the corruptors realized their idea was doomed to fail. A person who needs so little will never succumb to temptation. Seneca also stated that the one who needs wealth the least enjoys it the most. The great artist Michelangelo, despite not living as ascetically as Cato, avoided expensive gifts, understanding that true wealth lies in autonomy. While their lives may seem challenging in many ways, they were easier, with fewer worries and less reason for envy. For instance, Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, and Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. However, they regarded their financial status with indifference. It is preferable to be wealthy, healthy, and successful, but only if it doesn't hinder one from remaining a good person. it is noted that we interact with the external world, using it to the extent that it serves our interests. However, if we constantly clutter our lives with unnecessary things, we lose the value of what we have, and sometimes cease to appreciate anything at all. This also applies to how marketplaces manipulate people. Why buy a new set of screwdrivers if the old one remains unused? Similar to how we order food from Yandex, Eater or Delivery Club, rethinking whether the previous iPhone, bag, or anything else made us happy. Spartans were renowned for their courage, but another side of their strength is often overlooked. Before the Battle of Thermopylae, Persian King Xerxes demanded the surrender of weapons, to which the Spartans replied, "Come and take them." In the midst of the battle, when Xerxes claimed the Persians would release arrows darkening the sun, Spartan leader Leonidas said, "Then we will fight in the shade." This succinctness and lack of unnecessary words were characteristic of Spartans. They never used two words when one would suffice. Archimedes observed that the art of communication involves not only the ability to choose the right words, but also knowing when to remain silent. Each of us has something in our pocket that constantly tempts us to share something insignificant, like our breakfast, or engage in meaningless arguments. We engage in debates not to avoid appearing foolish, or because we can't stand someone else writing nonsense, prompting an immediate need to correct them, or even call them an idiot. However, in most cases, this leads us nowhere. We simply waste our precious time. Balance is crucial. Each of us needs to cultivate the courage to speak the truth, but at the same time, develop self-discipline to know when to stay silent. We are not obligated to voice every thought, especially when no one has asked for our opinion. In 2012, the San Antonio Spurs basketball team embarked on a challenging 6-game tour with an incredibly demanding schedule. Coach Greg Popovich intentionally gave a day off to the team's top 4 players, shocking fans and upsetting those who had paid for the broadcast rights. Popovich, however, had the discipline to play the long game, allowing his players to rest for the playoffs. Despite facing fines for this decision, the team went on to secure 2 more victories in the division, claiming their 5th championship. When we are determined to succeed, we often sleep less and work more, thinking that self-control lies in pushing harder. However, true self-control is knowing when to take a break. Overexertion before training, burnout, and ignoring small warning signs can lead to undesirable outcomes. The secret to consistent productivity is not to be productive constantly. The key is to recognize the importance of rest and recovery. Being undisciplined in matters of sleep, rest, and recovery is the surest way to make oneself more vulnerable. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement greatly supports the promotion of the video and the channel. Goodbye until our next meeting.